Today we want to hit the reset button and put everything back to factory settings. That includes the fuel, the carb, the spark, and even the pressure. Here's the parts we need to reset everything back to factory settings. We're starting off with the fuel. We're going to be installing a fuel pressure regulator with a 1/4 inch hose to make sure that we're getting proper fuel.
Pressure gauge,
that's right. And then spark plugs. We're installing new spark plugs. These are the BPR5ES, and there's 4 of them. And then we're also going to be gapping them to the proper spec using this tool here, and then a little bit of anti-seize for that. Also, we're getting rid of the points since we have a new distributor that's turning the other way. We wanted to get hot spark for that one. We'll be installing that and then timing all of that as well to get us that much closer to factory settings to just try to eliminate anything that could possibly go wrong. First step is to take the distributor cap off. So we're gonna take the distributor out of the car. We're gonna reset everything so we don't really need to worry about the timing and stuff, but usually you'd want to make a marking on it so that you could time it, because you could twist this thing and then just messes the timing up. But we're taking it off because we're gonna be installing hot spark. It replaces the point system, which is an ancient old system that is not very accurate. Well, it's accurate, but it's finicky. So by doing this, you are making your car a lot more reliable, and it's one less thing that you need to worry about. So once you loosen that bolt out, it comes right out. This is the distributor. There's oil there, so kind of careful, but keep in mind there's 2 ways. Not that it rotates, it all rotates, I believe, the same direction, but the plate inside here, it can advance or retard, which moves the other direction. So you want to make sure that you have the right distributor for the car when you're looking at that. And we're going to change it up.
So we're going to be installing this hot spark kit, and when you're ordering this, make sure you look at the number on your distributor and make sure you get the right side, because our old one that we have, it looks similar but it faces the other way, and we can show you that later. But there's what's called left-hand points and right-hand points, and we have the right-hand points, but this old distributor is left-hand points. And usually these ones are on automatic cars or cars with a lot of the emissions system, which we don't have. So I'm gonna take off this rotor, inspect it. This part should be clean, as well as this top part, and it should have a good contact with the rotor cap. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just take out this points system, and all there is here is 1 screw, and you can see here how the advanced mechanism is working. I can't do anymore. Yeah, so as you get vacuum from the carburetor, this whole plate just pivots. And then in addition, this has a mechanical advance, which I think you can see here. So it's, I think it's about 6 to 10 degrees or something like that. So it has both a mechanical advance and then once the carb kicks in, then it has vacuum advance. Alright, and that's the points right there. A lot of times between these two can get corroded or worn out, and it won't get enough contact to have a spark. So we're gonna take those out, and we can keep these for other cars because we have 4 more BMWs. And this part can also come off. This is called the condenser, and these often go out as well. I believe this is a brand new one that we threw on here, so we'll keep that as well for future cars. There you go.
Oh, you put it down.
No, it looks like that. So as you can see here, we have a square peg hole in there, and this part has a square peg as well. So I'm just gonna crack that open, but before we do that, we just want to clean up this base plate really well and make sure we get a good contact, because the hot spark, it needs a good contact and it gets really hot. So we're gonna want to put some thermal paste on there. There's some included in here, a little packet of thermal paste. So we're gonna clean up this base, throw on this paste. And one thing, so these often move up and down, which is normal, but what you don't want is side to side play, and this one looks pretty good. People often rebuild these as well, but I don't think this one needs it, and they basically take out all these little plates and just make sure it's all clean and change out any bushings, O-rings, all stuff like that. But I cleaned that up, it looks good. And now we can open this. Oh look, it comes with more. So in this case, this is a Hall effect electronic ignition, and it uses this magnet to indicate when it'll spark. I think it has 4 magnets built into this plate or this bushing, and yeah, so it spins and the magnet senses when it's getting the pulse, rather than the rotor and the points opening up and telling it when to open. So this part just slides over here. I'm gonna put it on later, but it slides on here. And there's 2 of them. I don't know which one we'll need. They look different heights. Okay, so let me first make sure that this actually fits our application. So there's a little notch in here. It goes into this notch, and then you can just pivot into the little hole for the bolt. And there's no bolt included, so we're just gonna
use the old one.
We're just gonna reuse our old one. So like I was saying, the bottom of this plate, you'll want to put a little bit of the thermal paste. It's kind of like a CPU. This is a Core i7 processor.
It's a neural network processing computer.
The CPU is a neural net processor, a learning computer.
Oh wow, neural network. Wow, already going. So our other one actually had a round hole. We tried putting the square peg through it, and that was fun.
We made it.
I think it was a sign that we shouldn't have used it. Be very careful with it. So the only downside to these is that I think these can overheat if you leave the ignition on, or something like that. I was reading. Or was that? No, I think that was points. anyways, these can fail and then you won't get any spark. Versus points, they can be more consistent sometimes. Or even though it's not going to be throwing the best spark, it'll still work. Versus this just will stop working altogether. I think I overdid it. But we're gonna get the best thermal conductivity here. We're just gonna get the best spark. Okay, so the coil voltage cannot be more than 14 volts. I think we're good on that.
The next step we're going to do is change out the plugs. We've done it before, but honestly don't remember which ones we put in there. Maybe we didn't put the right ones or didn't gap it right. So we just want to take care of that, put new ones in, and that's what we're going to do right now. So this is the first cylinder. You can always inspect the plug, see kind of what it looks like. If you look here, it looks a little lean up on top. It's a little white, but and then it looks like these are BP6ES plugs.
Okay.
Is that what we needed?
I think we're gonna do the BP5R.
Slightly colder running
Slightly colder, yeah.
with the resistors in there. I think that's what the R stands for.
And then make sure the gap is correct and all that.
What's the gap need to be? Do you remember?
I think 34 thousandths.
34,000.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how this car will run with the electronic ignition with the correct distributor, because before we had it ran much better with the electronic ignition, but
Yeah.
it never had advance. At the higher RPMs, it never boosted it, gave it that advance, so just mechanical.
Oh man, we need anti-seize on the next ones.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you bought that. We're not giving up on this one. Used to be 0.30?
A little bit more.
More.
Do a little bit more, like 0.032. Because we are running the hot spark, so we're gonna get hot spark.
And there you go. 0.034ish.
Sweet. Alright, we're ready.
And let's lube it up.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna put these on real quick. So on the coil, 1 is negative and 15 is positive. Easy way to remember that is if you put 1 sideways, it kind of looks like a negative symbol, so that's how I remember it. There you go, that's connected. So next step is actually to shine a light in there, get the flywheel to top dead center, and then I'll show you where you adjust the distributor to get it also on top dead center. That's really important, otherwise all the timing you do wouldn't matter. So let's get a light in there and I'll show you. So we're taking the valve cover off to confirm that that's top dead center. I put it on the line there, but honestly we made a really big mess when we dropped a lot of paint in there trying to mark it, make it easier. Made it harder. On the flywheel, there's actually 2 markings. There's one that's advanced, it's like a little, I think convex bubble, and then the other one has a line with the Z. So we'll put a picture here so you guys can see what we're talking about. But we're gonna take the valve cover off and make sure that that's top dead center, because when we marked it there, it kind of made a mess. So there's a couple bolts here. Don't forget the one here on the side. And then pop this guy off. And then the important thing is when you're looking at it here, you want to find, where is
There's
it?
a line on this guy.
I don't see the line. Yeah, I don't see it.
Maybe we're not at top dead center.
Maybe. We're on 4th gear and we're pushing it back slowly to try to get the marking on the flywheel to top dead center. I don't think we are. Like I mentioned, we kind of made a mess on the flywheel, so we got to make sure both these points are at top dead center. There'll be a little marking here I'll show you guys once we hit there, and then yeah, I'll show you how to put the distributor back in once you hit that. So let's push it back.
Are you gonna do the Mega Squirt tune now?
Yeah. We're gonna OBD tune it.
We should do turbo.
Let's do it. So we got this guy, which is,
Wow.
we're gonna go but we're gonna see
what we see. Oh, I see it going in. Wow. Look at that. Wait. Yeah, that's the ball, dude.
What's that line?
Can you zoom out?
Yeah. Here, make it bigger. So then you can control the brightness here.
That's cool.
I think it says TD, dude. Honestly, look. Imagine that an O and a T, and then
Oh yeah, that is OT. That's OT.
and then that. Right there is the line.
Yeah, that's OT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we got to move the car a little bit back, I think, to get it straight on that line. But I think that's the OT mark.
Oh, look at that. Flywheel, gears.
Yeah.
And then from what I was reading, see this mark right here? Or can you zoom out? See this? You're supposed to be on the driver's side, and when you time it, this line should hit that other line to time it. Does that make sense?
No.
So this should be your timing reference point.
So we have it exactly
So
where it needs to be.
if you're timing it at the Z ball, then it'd be the ball would be right here, and it'd hit just the base of this line.
Well, that line is on the flywheel.
No, this line. No, this housing. See this
Oh,
housing?
okay.
It kind of dips out. Yeah, the housing. That's like a special place to time it off of.
Mm.
So you're not just timing in open space.
that line right there.
Yep. So that's TDC right there.
Yeah, and then there's the OT mark.
All right, we got the bottom top dead center.
See, it's right off the transmission. There's a little hole here, and if you look down into the hole,
Can we time it off your laptop?
I don't think it flashes. But and then if that's top dead center, there needs to be another mark
Oh yeah.
on there, on this, on the flywheel. But something interesting, so we're gonna have to put a stop to everything, because on the flywheel we found the top dead center mark, and then on the crankshaft pulley there's also a top dead center mark which is lined up. So both of those are lined up, but if you look at the top here, there's supposed to be a little mark on the cam, and you won't see it there because it's not on there. And if you look at the intake valve, it's actually sitting on a lobe, which I believe it shouldn't when it's at top dead center, because at top dead center it has the highest compression, so everything should be closed at that point, which makes me believe that maybe the previous owner messed with the timing and the way that the chain is set up, and it might be off a couple teeth. So I think the next step will actually be to do a little bit more research, get a step-by-step guide how to reset the timing back to factory, and then once we do that, well, then we'll go from there. We'll see. But I think that could definitely cause the car not to run past 4,000. So that's going to be the next step. We did install the hot points, as you guys saw, the spark plugs, and next time we're going to have to do that and see what happens. Also noticed something interesting. If you look at the rocker arms, there's a lot of wear on top of them, and not sure if that's normal or not, but all of them kind of have that. This one not so much, this one has it, this one, and then on the intake side as well, they're also kind of grounded off like that. This one goes all the way up to here, which I don't think it was hitting anything, so not really sure what could have caused that, because even on here you can see it. There's some grinding off on the top here, so Not sure if someone was trying to polish it or what they're trying to do, because they should look like this, like a little line on there, but they're kind of grinded off. So if anyone knows why someone would do that, let us know, because we're curious. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.